What if the most powerful transformation of 2026 didn't come from a superpower, but from a nation the world was barely watching? While global media stayed obsessed with collapsing economies, rising wars, and fading empires, something extraordinary was happening quietly in Southeast Asia. No explosions, no headlines, no dramatic speeches, just a slow, unstoppable rise. Welcome to GeoLens, the channel where hidden shifts, forgotten nations, and invisible powers come into the light. Here, we don't just follow history, we reveal what history is becoming. In 2026, Malaysia didn't conquer anyone. It didn't threaten the world. It didn't shout. It simply moved, strategically, silently, and brilliantly. Behind glass towers and rainforest borders, unseen systems began to reshape trade routes, digital power, global manufacturing, and regional influence. Investors blinked, diplomats recalculated, superpowers quietly adjusted their strategies, and most people never noticed. But the world felt it. Today, you're about to uncover how Malaysia became one of the most underestimated forces of 2026. The supply chains, the digital corridors, the diplomatic chess moves, the cultural soft power spreading beyond borders. This isn't about noise, this is about invisible dominance. And once you see it, you'll never look at Southeast Asia the same way again.
Point 1. The trade corridors no one saw. In 2026, global trade looked fragile. Red Sea disruptions, political choke points, overdependence on single routes. The world's supply chains were exposed as brittle, centralized, and dangerously predictable. That's when Malaysia became essential. Without fanfare, Malaysia positioned itself as a neutral artery between East and West. Ports like Port Klang and Tanjung Pelepas transformed into silent giants, absorbing rerouted shipping from strained global pathways. While others argued, Malaysia optimized. What made this different wasn't size, it was stability. Investors weren't just moving goods, they were moving trust. Shipping companies quietly restructured routes. Multinationals shifted regional hubs. Warehouses expanded along Malaysia's coastlines. And in the background, logistics AI and smart ports began operating at a level that rivaled global giants. Malaysia didn't replace anyone. It became indispensable. In a world where every major power was seen as biased or unstable, Malaysia offered something rare: neutral efficiency. No sanctions drama, no geopolitical arrogance, just reliability. And in global trade, reliability is power. Factories in Vietnam depended on Malaysian ports. Chinese exporters routed through Malaysian corridors. Western companies set their Southeast Asian headquarters in Kuala Lumpur. It was subtle, almost boring, but every container told the same story. The world was leaning on Malaysia without realizing it. Not through dominance, through dependence. That's how silent power begins.
Point 2. The digital spine of Southeast Asia. While nations fought over chips and satellites, Malaysia focused on something quieter: infrastructure. In 2026, data became more valuable than oil, and Malaysia became one of the most stable digital backbones in Southeast Asia. Cloud giants expanded, regional data centers multiplied, undersea cables connected through Malaysian hubs. What looked like tech investment was actually digital sovereignty in the making. Malaysia wasn't competing with Silicon Valley, it was becoming the bridge between East and West. Fintech startups, AI labs, regional cloud services, government-backed cyber frameworks, all aligned around one idea: control the flow, not the spotlight. When neighboring economies faced instability, companies migrated their digital operations to Malaysia, not because it was flashy, but because it was safe. Quietly, Malaysia became where banks mirrored data, governments hosted regional servers, corporations secured cloud operations, startups built pan-Asian platforms. Digital empires were being built silently. And in a world where wars are now fought with code, not cannons, Malaysia found itself holding the invisible infrastructure that others relied on. No speeches, no threats, just uptime. The world didn't call it power, but everyone depended on it. Point 3. Manufacturing's new refuge. As global manufacturing fractured in 2026, companies searched for neutral ground. China was powerful, but politically sensitive. The West was advanced, but expensive. Other nations were promising, but unstable. Malaysia offered something unique: balance. Factories migrated, semiconductor plants expanded, electric vehicle components, green energy tech, medical devices, all found a home in Malaysian industrial zones. Penang evolved into a silent Silicon Valley of hardware. What shocked analysts wasn't growth, it was resilience. Malaysia didn't chase headlines, it built ecosystems. Skilled labor, government consistency, regional integration, low political drama. Corporations realized something dangerous. They could rely on Malaysia. And once corporations rely on you, nations follow. Supply chains recentered, talent relocated, infrastructure deepened. Malaysia wasn't replacing China. It was becoming the alternative everyone needed. Not loud, not aggressive, just unavoidable. Point 4. The art of neutral influence. In a polarized world, neutrality is revolutionary. Malaysia mastered it. In 2026, while blocs hardened and alliances fractured, Malaysia became a diplomatic mirror, respected by East, West, and the global South. It didn't lead with ideology, it led with access. Talks happened in Kuala Lumpur. Regional strategies passed through Malaysian channels. ASEAN coordination quietly centered around Malaysian frameworks. Malaysia wasn't the loudest voice. It became the room where voices met. That's influence without intimidation. And in a divided world, that role becomes priceless. Power doesn't always look like control. Sometimes it looks like trust. Point 5. Culture, identity, and soft power. While others exported dominance, Malaysia exported belonging. In 2026, Malaysia's image shifted globally, not as a destination, but as a model. Multicultural, moderate, stable, adaptable. Students arrived, creators followed, entrepreneurs stayed. Malaysia didn't push culture, it attracted it. In a fractured world, people searched for places that felt human. Malaysia became one. That is the most dangerous form of power, the kind people choose.
The world is obsessed with noise, missiles, markets, meltdowns. But history is often written in silence. In 2026, Malaysia didn't dominate headlines. It dominated systems. Trade moved through it. Data depended on it. Factories trusted it. Diplomacy passed through it. People chose it. That is real power. Not conquest, not fear, but necessity. The most dangerous nations aren't the loudest. They're the ones the world can't function without.
and Malaysia is becoming one of them. So the next time you hear nothing about Malaysia, remember, silence isn't weakness. Sometimes it's the sound of the world quietly rearranging itself.